All right. So again, do another parole visit, do another parole video, and as you see, I'm here. They just told me I was gonna walk in here without even recording this because I couldn't recall to do this. They just used an implant to tell me, "Hey, stop! Don't you want to make a video?" Very quickly. It wasn't as slowly as I just said that. It was faster, really fast. And they said that really fast, and your brain can think about what they said afterwards and then tell you what they said like at the same time. I don't know. The brain is crazy, man. If people can talk really fast and you will understand what they said, even though they spoke really quickly. And they'll flash an image of recording, so you get the idea quickly. But anyways, still being electrocuted with implants, still being terrorized by first student. Everywhere I go, arrive to location, first student people show up or are there, or prior companies are choosing that I work for are choosing to leave their vehicles wherever I go or wherever I'm going to go, or seeing police officers at intersections, or seeing firefighters at intersections, or seeing the same fire truck at an intersection. It's stalking. It's stalking behavior. It is. There's the only way to make sure the same person sees the same thing over and over again. You have to stalk that person, and that's been happening for 6 years. And I've said for the same time, for over that same period of time, go fuck yourself. It's been my way to fight back. And to make it obvious to everybody around that this person is saying go fuck yourself for this particular reason. So if people see the same scenario, they'll get the idea that, hey, there are cops arriving at intersections at the same time as this dude. There are fire trucks doing it. There are certain companies are doing it. Or he's not saying this to everybody in town. There are thousands of cars he passes by and he doesn't say a word. But then we notice that there's a fire truck at the intersection, and guess what happens? The words "go fuck yourself" comes out of his mouth. And I would wonder why is that? Why does that keep happening? I mean, how is this possible? How is it possible that these people end up at an intersection simultaneously? And it probably explains why the guy keeps mentioning it explains a lot. I'm witnessing this. Lots of other people are witnessing this. Somebody must be getting harassed. And the people harassing him have done a very good job to do it and get away with it.
Let me use back as long as I'm here. And then we'll see if he shows up. Because everyone's been a no-show today because they're all whatever.
So, somebody figured out how to harass people and escape the gravity of their actions. Alright. So, no changes to it. Oh, I think I wrote that last time, that I don't have the same job anymore. No changes to education. No, did not change cars. No change in income. Actually, yes, there has been. Making a lot less money. Sure. I write this on all of them. I am still being harassed with electrocuted, harassed by the gay community, stalked by police departments, government vehicles, police department, fire trucks, or paramedics, to meet at intersections. For the purpose of meeting me at an intersection for reasons I don't know. I don't know what the cause behind it is. But that's what I usually say in this area. So, as I said, sexually harassed.
I love getting work orders from agents who work remote. I said I love getting work orders from agents who work remote. No, I'm not saying her, but I've been dealing with that. Oh, she just left like for the day?
Implants.
She only works till 11, doesn't she? Yeah. Well, he's supposed to be here at 11. I'll give him 15 minutes. If not, he's a no-show.
You're gay.
Yeah. Because Mark just took off with Sam. Yeah. Okay.
They just said,
okay.
Well,
I'll just wait
we're not gay. We're straight people, and we want to hurt you. We're straight people, and we're doing this because we think you're gay. But I just said, straight people would never electrocute the genitals of anybody around them. Straight people would never force another man to have sex with another man. That's straight people don't want to see that. So they don't tell other dudes to do those things.
Is she?
That person, the people who would are gay. Only the gay community would
in fact, I'll just
ask somebody or insinuate or intimidate or encourage somebody to believe they have to have sex with the same sex. That's something that straight people just don't do. Because it's something straight people don't want to see. So the people who have implants, who are electrocuting my ears, electrocuting my genitals, electrocuting my anus, and playing with my ear canal, I don't know how they can do that, but doing those things aren't heterosexual. Straight people don't do these things. They don't play with your genitals with an implant. They don't ask you to have sex with men to grow your genitals. They don't ask you to give children to women who choose to be lesbians so that they can have a child while still in a relationship with another woman. They don't torture you with an implant so that you turn out to be a donor to the gay community and you don't get to live the life you want to live. And they just told me because they just said you can't handle a relationship with a woman. And it's not that hard. If the girl is similar to you, if you guys have the same interests, you're living life together. You guys are working to progress in life together, and you're gonna laugh, you're gonna cry, you're gonna sleep, you're gonna be active with each other together. So no, when you find somebody like you, it's a really easy life to live.
So many work orders.
So no, having a relationship with a woman is not difficult.
And then they
just lied. They just told me it's impossible to live with a woman, so that I would be encouraged, or I'd feel reason. I'd have a lie as a reason to give DNA to gay people, so that they can be lesbians
and I want to be home by like
and have children.
I'm sure
which
I said I want to be back in
it's very difficult to do because men don't want to give their children, give away babies.
Right now, I got
they want to raise their kids for themselves. Ain't no man in the world is going to want to hand his children off to another group of people he's never met before. Like these two girls show up and they say, I want a child. Well, then this guy is never going to give his child to two people he's never met before. That's not something that somebody who's heterosexual or who cares about himself or his children. I would never give my child to anybody in the gay community. I will never in a billion years hand my child off or give DNA to gay people so that they can live their lives as lesbians. I absolutely refuse. I absolutely refuse to be. No matter how much you electrocute my ears, electrocute my genitals, I will still not give DNA.
Is she pretty good about coming out on
under any circumstances to a group of gay people? Give my babies away.
But is she pretty out?
Hand my babies off to be raised or taught to be a part of the gay community for any purpose. That is. I love my kids. I would rather not see my children raised
I'll just wait
by
till I
people
hear her. If you see her, point to her that I'm out here. Would you?
I would rather not see my children raised by gay people. And to play with DNA, to play with your DNA would be a terrible thing to do. So there's a lot of gay community couples who like to mix up, well, test someone's DNA versus somebody else's DNA to see what the outcome is. So instead of reproducing like you're supposed to, finding somebody similar to you, and physically and mentally physically or mentally, you have a person who is finding the opposite to who they are and playing with the DNA of two very different people to see what turns out, to see what happens. And those are the offers from the gay community I've been receiving over and over again. People I would never have sex with, like obese gay women, or really short gay women, or gay women who hate exercising, or gay people you're not supposed to have, well, not because they're gay, but people you just wouldn't ever have sex with, right? People you absolutely are not sexually interested in. I can't recall, they're stopping me from giving you better examples, but just imagine that somebody who has none of the interests you have in life asking you to give them a child. Just imagine that. It doesn't matter if they're gay or not. Just ask yourself, would you choose to be in a relationship with someone you know immediately have none of the interests in life that you do? Would you do that? No, of course not. First of all, you're not attracted to that person. Second, you don't even know who or what this person is, or where they came from, what they're you have no idea who this person is. And for them to ask you for a child or to ask you to have sex with them on the spot, to ask you for a kid on the spot is asinine. Or for you to, and you know what they're after. You know they're after reproducing with you and then getting rid of you. And instead of going through official ways of doing it, they're doing things unofficially, off the books, off the record, no trace whatsoever, and leaving you with the possibility of paying for that kid later or not having a relationship in whatsoever with your child, which is probably what they want. They want to groom your kid to have sex with gay people as an adult and keep you far away so that they can't argue you stopped that child from growing up to be gay. And then they just told me what to say. The whole time someone's going to be using technology to hurt your child in the privacy of the home the child is living in. Just like they're doing to you in broad daylight, but the kid is going to be they won't have the experiences in life to know what to do, to know to tell, to know to say something to anybody, because what the child's experiencing is new.
John?
Yeah. Is new to the kid.
Oh, Danielle? Yeah? This is Kelly. This is Glenn. Hi. We've never met. But I'm here to hook up Nicholas Rasmussen, and I understand you're cover agent for Valerie. Uh-huh. So I just thought I'd let you know because I need to be with him. He had at 11 o'clock, and 5 more minutes, and then just writing down his notes. Okay. Gotcha? Sounds good. All right, thank you. Yep.
So,
your phone will go off.
oh, yeah.
You want me to say? Okay.
Yeah.
That's fine. Stop. You can leave your coat on. There you go.
All right. So, like I was saying, I still don't think it's appropriate to give your kids to people in the gay community because they demand it, or they want a donor, or they want a donor to live their lifestyles while you can't. And if you choose to live your lifestyle, that means they don't get DNA. Since your DNA, your genetics are pretty decent, they figure you should be a donor, a sperm donor. Well, a donor to their lifestyles rather more than Should live a free life.
Hi.
Oh.
If the heater bothers you, just let me know. I can shut it off.
All right.
Okay. Just it bothers some people.
All right.
How are the roads out there? Pretty clear?
Yeah, they're okay. The
What's that?
Nah, I was just gonna mention the lights, but it's
What's
alright.
that?
I was gonna mention the
yeah,
lights.
yeah. No, just thanks. You just gotta remind me sometimes because
Oh, okay.
yeah, don't hesitate to point it out. I'm just used to having them off. Tell me about the graduation.
Went well.
Okay.
It went well.
Was it a long ceremony?
About 2.5 hours.
It's not too bad.
2.5 hours.
All right.
Wait, no, I'm sorry. Altogether it was 2.5 hours, but
Yeah.
the ceremony itself was probably like an hour,
Okay.
maybe.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Did you do anything interesting or fun when you were down in Baton Rouge?
No, I got there and I realized how expensive traveling was in the city. It was it's really funny. It's not cheap. The lifts in Wisconsin are a lot cheaper. They're like half the price to go the same distance. So I figured I'd be spending like $100 to go to all these places I wanted to go, and just lift trips.
Yeah.
So I was like, nah, I'll save the money. And then I spent $150 I didn't plan on spending for the
Hotel.
yeah. So it was adding up, and I just didn't have the cash.
Did you stayed at the hotel for 2 nights?
Yes.
Was it? So it was 150 total.
Yeah.
That's not terrible. I mean, that's better than I would expect it would be.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is expensive to travel.
Yeah, it is. It is.
When I went to Washington D.C. and we took a cab, it was just maybe half a mile down the road.
Yeah.
I didn't know where we were going.
Yeah.
It was like $30.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I'm used to like Lyft prices being like $7, $8 to go a long distance, and down there it was the opposite. It was a short distance for $20. It's like I could walk there, and
Sure.
no, I couldn't. Oh, and then the other thing is to walk in Louisiana, you can't go straight to the place. So I decided to walk. They make you the route to walk wherever you want to go is like it was ridiculous. And I mapped a few places out, so there was no direct route from the hotel I was staying at to go to museums or the natural places or the Capitol or there's like no sidewalks, or like maybe there's no sidewalks to go where you want to go, or like you have to stick to the sidewalk, and these are the only sidewalks to your destination.
Wow.
So I'm just guessing. I don't know if that's true or not. I have no idea. I just speculated. But I do know that the GPS made me go all around.
Kind of all of like a roundabout.
To get to where I want to go. So I was like, that just added like an hour to your trip. So I guess you could have just mapped it yourself.
Sure.
And just walked, and maybe walked on the road or walked like through a parking lot or whatever to get to where you wanted to go. But it was too expensive. It was too hard to do, so I didn't travel anywhere. I didn't. I noticed the same harassments, the same police. As soon as I arrived to Louisiana, I left the airport. Several police officers were on the route, and then they sped past the Lyft driver that I was in, and it's like it doesn't make you feel good to be surrounded by people you don't want to be around, and it doesn't make you feel good to get to a destination and know that there are lights and sirens and a huge police presence there. I don't feel safe. I don't feel secure. And after years of using police officers to stalk and harass somebody, like I was just told with an implant 2 seconds ago, is for your security. But you shouldn't. You can no longer in the future use security that are police officers or firefighters if those people were doing bad things to you before like an official statement was made that, hey, we're going to use these people to follow you or protect you or because of the horrible things that happened to you. If that's the narrative, if that's the story they're going with, you don't offer the same people who were harassing this person in the past to be the protectors of this person in the future. So you can't use stalking police officers or stalking firefighters or stalking paramedics to then follow this person with the statement, official statement, hey, we're here to help you out, we're here to make you feel good, make you feel safe.
So how are you supposed to trust them?
Yeah, so exactly. You just had the horrible years of experience with these people sexually harassing you in uniform and helping the gay community feel powerful, feel important, that they have like official people helping them get you to have sex with these people. And since no police department officer has ever said verbally, yes, we know that you have this, the things you're claiming are happening to you, or we feel sorry for you, or we even know that there's a large group of gay people out here harassing you and sexually harassing you. We no officer, good cop or bad cop, has ever said, hey, we know these things. So
no one's acknowledged.
Yeah, I think someone's taking ownership of their police department, or like possession, like a personal possession. Like whoever is very rich, very powerful, very connected. Well, connected to everybody else, that has gravity or thinks he has gravity, is well connected to everybody else. Whoever that person is, or can control life, thinks that they own the police department. And maybe that's true. Maybe they go back in history and they're with the founding fathers, or they have the greatest intelligence for of America, and it's like a personal possession to them. Even if that's true, I don't need it. I don't need their protection, and so the harassment I received in Louisiana was very similar to what I received here in Wisconsin.
In terms of like, just I don't mean to interrupt, but just so I understand it, was it about like, was the frequency the same?
Yes.
Like, was it more or less, or
yes,
pretty much consistent?
Yes. At the graduation, there was an officer sitting in the audience that, as soon as I walked past, made a body gesture, so that I would look at him. So normally there's like a crowd of people, you don't notice every single person because everybody's sitting still or everybody's doing making the same motions. But this officer went out of his way, he sat in the corner in a blue uniform to move his body suddenly and quickly so that anybody walking past him would look in his direction, and then you recognize it's an officer. So somebody who was purposely tried to grab your attention, to get your attention,
so
my
that
attention.
You could see that he was an officer.
Yeah, to make me harassment, or like to see something he knew I would hate seeing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he would know if it's intelligent harassment. Surround somebody with things they don't like, or let them know they're surrounded by something they don't like if they don't know it. And that was his intention. And then somebody threw my coat on the floor. I left my coat in the chair in the audience, and when I looked up the stairs, my jacket was on the steps. And I think I saw that first, and then I looked over and then I saw another movement, a quick movement in the audience, and I looked over, and there was a cop who had made an unnecessary movement that wasn't natural. It was attention grabbing. And so I saw two things I didn't like right away. So that's another form to get somebody aggravated. So you're upset that your coat's on the ground. You don't like that. Yeah. And then you see something attention grabbing. You look over and you find out it's a police officer. So now you see two things you don't like. And hopefully that aggravates you. Maybe you're on the edge. Or maybe you're upset about something else that's happening to you. And these two things added to that. And you just get mad. You say something or you do something in response to the aggravation. So somebody's really smart and knows how to lead up to harassments. And that's what I experienced when I got to Baton Rouge. Several harassments leading up one after another, one after another, one after another, one after another. And hopefully somebody's hoping that all of these harassments lead up to an altercation. Mm-hmm. And that's just, I think that's a normal, any smart person would come to that conclusion. So if you're constantly harassed, what do you think, if that's happening, what do you think all that harassment is for?
Right.
So it's probably
build up to something. It's antagonizing.
It's antagonize you for. And I've watched movies. I've watched TV. I've watched the news. I know that there are ways that people portray or put in the movies or TV that you can harass somebody to get them mad, and then you see violence. So I can tell that this harassment wants to lead me to the same direction, and I refuse. So I instead of getting mad, I choose to tell, and that's also aggravating people because.
And then do they like ramp it up? Then do you feel? Do you
right afterwards, it gets doubled down. So as soon as I hit tweet or send or post, I walk outside and I see more harassment. I see first student, the driver from the first student company, any driver from that company will pass through an intersection. So as soon as I say something intelligent on Twitter, or I instead of violent on Twitter or YouTube or X, I'll see a first student truck drive through an intersection right past me, and it's like harassment. If you don't stop tweeting things or acting like you're smart, we will continue to harass you by calling you the first student, or instead of the first president, or like the first lady, or or first place student, or like you're the best student in the city, or the whatever, because of all the things you discovered, or the things you tweet, or the way you tweet. This is harassment for that. And that's what they tell me too. And simultaneously, if you don't like it, stop tweeting. Or if you don't want to think you're so smart, or stupid things, at simultaneously. So
have you ever then, if that's what their kind of their reason is, or their instruction is, if you don't want us doing this, then stop telling. Yeah. Have you ever gone a period just to test that theory?
No.
Of like, okay, I'm not going to, and to see if that harassment changes?
No, I don't think so. I think that was the theme of the guy who killed the CEO, right? The guy who killed that healthcare CEO.
Oh, yeah.
He apparently stopped tweeting for 6 months, and then shortly after killed some people, or killed that guy. And I think that's a similar story.
Okay.
I don't want to be in that spectrum.
Sure. I was just
so
wondering if
I'm going to stay the same.
Yeah.
And then that's terrorism. That's also terrorism. So I know the nation believes in writing, believes that we are never supposed to bow to terrorism. So if a terrorist shows up and says, "Hey, I want you to do this for me," we absolutely don't do it, and we attack the terrorists. So if someone is terrorizing you, making you afraid to do something, you never do what they want you to do. You continue to do exactly what you have the freedom to do. So if I have the freedom to tweet, if I have the freedom to be myself, I'm going to continue to do it. And they will have to continue to terrorize me. So I absolutely refuse to be terrorized by, or just bow to terrorism. So when I got there, it was the same harassment, and somebody believes they own the police officers, so they don't want me in the future, or anytime anyone decides to acknowledge what I've said for years has been true. They don't want me to ever have their things to use for myself. So they believe the police department, the firefighters, the paramedics are all their things. They're their personal possessions. Okay. And
the people that can help, the people that are supposed to help.
They're supposed to help.
They have them in
the palm of their hands, and they believe they're their property. Not just the uniforms, but the people in the uniforms are also their property. And so if it's ever acknowledged, or if anybody ever says, "Hey, John, you've been telling the truth, and we are apologetic, and we're going to offer the people in our possession to help you, or to make you feel secure in the future," they know at that moment I would say, "No, thank you."
Yeah.
I've told them several times, these same people have been harassing me, and that's what they want.
Sure.
But they don't want to make it look like they didn't offer, the gesture, make the gesture to you. So they've been telling me how this is going to play out for years, or over and over again, and I kept telling them, I'm going to deny your offer, and then I'll rely on free people surround myself with free people, people who've been telling for years, people who suffered the same experiences, and then I figured out how to get stronger. So there's really no point in relying on anybody around me to keep me safe. We're supposed to be able to do it ourselves. We're supposed to improve our existence, improve our bodies, to be able to survive the worst things in life through hard work, through pressure, and evolution. So mass under pressure evolves differently and changes the inside of your body. So if I have enough time to live, I should have enough time to get stronger. And if I have enough time to get stronger, there's really not much that can hurt me physically. And that's the path that I'm going to go on. I'm not going to rely on strangers to keep me safe. But yeah, no, so I learned a lot in life, and that's something they didn't expect. So all the lies in life that I'm a bad person, I'm a rapist, that I commit crimes, I murder, I would grow up to murder people, or I would grow up to hear voices, or be a bad person, all required lies to be told by witnesses, like people who you grew up with, like kids at your school. So if anything ever happened, if I ever chose to do bad things, all of these lying witnesses would show up and say, yes, he was a bad person and I knew it the whole time. And I guess they prepped these people for decades. And so that's what I've been told several times, that we prepped kids throughout your life to be the lying witnesses if you ever choose to do bad things in the future. We've already prepped these kids to show up, take a microphone, and say the certain things. But now that you turned out to be very smart, and you made a very you did so publicly. You made a social media account, you broadcasted your intelligence, you broadcasted how well you can improve the lives of the people around you, how much you want to improve your life. You broadcasted these things. Now we have a problem because what you've done is not something we expected you to be able to do.
I see.
So now we're stuck. We're still trying to get you to be the bad person, but if we do get you to be the bad person, we have a problem with your intelligence. We have a problem.
Well, now you've told everybody, right?
You've told everybody.
That's where they have the problem. Is
Yes.
that you've been talking about it for years.
Yes.
And
That too. So that telling that's a problem, and you're smart. And you gave a gift. I gave a gift. I gave people a gift, a path to strength. And all it takes is a good engineer, a really smart engineer who can build something that adds more force in the same area. That doesn't spread the weight out. Basically, weightlifting, don't spread the weight out. You add more weight in the same area instead of a larger area. You stop getting bigger. If you stop getting bigger and you keep getting stronger, your bones, your muscles, and your heart, your liver, your lungs, everything inside your body has to improve because there's more mass in the same area. So now, and all it required is to stop spreading the weight out. And if an engineer can manage to do that, you just improved every single human life on the planet. If they choose to get stronger and they choose to live longer, you just gave them the path to strength. And that means that means you're incredibly intelligent. And if we've been torturing you and raping you that whole time with implants, or in person, or physically rubbing up against your butt, or rubbing up against your arms, or kissing you, or not kissing you, or miming that we want to kiss you, or lick you, or doing things with our mouths, doing things with our faces in your direction the whole time, that makes us look like terrible people. You gave people the intelligence or the gift to longer life, and we, at the same time, were choosing to continue to torture and rape you with an implant. So now we have a huge problem. We look like we're completely... It's harder to admit to wrongdoing when it gets worse and worse. When the person continues to improve. So if I even discover anything else, it would get worse. So if I continue to improve in life, the things that they did looks worse and worse.
Sure.
So someone has to destroy those improvements, destroy the path to continue to learn. So like right now, I can't get into details of anything. I could, but it's incredibly difficult. They're stopping me from using my memory and like my thinking. So only thing I can do is think on the surface, like surface. As soon as I try to like dive into like a topic, yes, they like shut my brain down, or like they start talking louder, or not louder. They just basically rip me out of the pages, or like I don't know, make it impossible to learn. So all I can do is think on the top of my head, and it's all they just told me is for if I commit a crime, they don't want me to try to get away with it. So if I commit murder, if I commit rape, or if I steal something, they don't want me to have an opportunity to sit down for like 30 seconds and think, how can I get away with what I just did?
Oh, gotcha.
So I'll never have a moment to think about deeply and try to escape the gravity of my actions. So what they want me to do is think on the top of my head, and whatever choices I make at the top of my head, or whatever thoughts I can come up with, are the ones I can have. But when I try to think it deeply, or get to the details, or get to the bottom of something, it's like someone's pressing a button to stop me from thinking. And it's the purpose they just told me again was so that if I ever do commit a crime, if I ever get mad because somebody was harassing me, or sexually harassing me, or I hate what I just heard, or electrocuting my genitals made me mad, that this one last time, they don't want any of my actions to have thought, to have like conscious thought that I can use to get out of whatever just happened.
They want you caught.
Caught, exactly. Caught. With no chance to get away with it. Yeah. So use an implant, and that person will be stuck in place for like 10 minutes trying to think of something that would have taken them 10 seconds to come up with, or 2 seconds to come up with. Oh, you should do that, and then you won't get caught. And instead of like 10 minutes has passed and this person is still thinking, like right now, I just took 20 minutes to tell you something that should have took me 5 minutes to tell you. And I think I know I used to be able to compress my thoughts.
Sure. Condense it, yeah.
Condense my thoughts, and that requires your memory. You need your memory, the words you know in the past, and you need to remember everything you're trying to say, everything you want to say, and put it into a sentence so that you can give somebody a compressed thought. And with this implant, they're not letting me do that. So everything I come up with is some of the things they're referencing or giving me a reminder, and by force I have to say what they're telling me. And some of the things I'm able to say off the top of my head. And so it's difficult. So all the harassment, all these things are to make me look bad in the future, and they use a history to support any future actions of violence. And the improvements I chose to make, I guess at the end of the day, the improvements I chose to make and the help I gave society is conflicting with the story they wanted to tell about me in the future. So I did a good thing. I chose to exercise for a few months of my life, and for the rest of my life, I chose to think about how I could improve what I did. And that decision led me to help as many people as I possibly could. And for that, I should be famous. You're supposed to be famous. You're supposed to be famous. You just gave people life.
Maybe it's only a matter of time before you catch the right person's attention, honestly.
Yeah.
So just to shift gears a little bit, and is there any update on employment, or I guess what are your plans now that you're officially graduated?
I just went to a job interview this morning. Before I came here to be a snowplow driver.
Oh, okay.
Or a salt truck driver, and there's a chance I'll get to do that. In the meantime, I've been collecting unemployment.
Okay. How much are you getting in unemployment?
It was crap. I will have to. I'll text you and let you know. But I know it's pennies. It's like not as much.
It's a percentage. Yeah, I think they can only go so. They can only. There's a cap, and I mean with it, are you able to make your rent and make? Okay. Yeah.
Save.
Your basic needs.
Yeah, I just save everything.
Okay.
But so unemployment and working, and or maybe possibly working. And I've been volunteering at the food pantry.
Okay. And you just let it the registry know, right?
Yep, they know.
Okay.
They
Do you have set days that you're volunteering?
no, it's right now it was random. I just picked whatever they had available.
Okay.
I'm gonna volunteer after this at 1:00.
That's the river.
Yes.
I was going to ask you if you had any, if you were going to do any volunteering this winter.
Yes. So volunteering and what else? What is it? Yes. Are you working?
Yeah, I was just asking about like the unemployment amount, and then just making sure that SOAR was notified of
Yep.
the volunteer opportunity. Yeah, you had your interviews.
Of Maple Leaf. Yeah, I interviewed with them, but I don't know if if I'll be hired.
Who's Maple Leaf?
This is a company in Verona.
Are they the ones that do the snow plow?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. They do a winter and summer
They
work.
do. Okay.
Yeah.
I've never heard of them.
Yeah. I've seen their company around. I just haven't.
Well, maybe. I mean, it wouldn't be too bad for seasonal. I mean, you pretty much work by yourself.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
Driving.
Yep. Instead of the crew work.
You have good experience with driving jobs.
Yeah.
So, okay. Anything else I should note?
Can you tell me how much the printout? Give me a printout of the amount I owe you guys, and then like the month. I think it's. I don't know if you can.
I'll need. So, I'll probably have to go in. I'm assuming and change that. The supervision fees again.
Yeah.
Because we don't want to charge you while you're unemployed. 10 months now. So the court costs, I'll print that out for you.
Okay.
This is what the court costs in this case showing.
Okay.
So there's been paid amounts, adjusted amounts, and this is the balance for the court costs and the search. They tack on a surcharge with court costs, so that's the balance over here.
Okay.
Supervision fees would be right here, and this is accumulated from 2018.
All right. I'll take that one.
So if you make a payment, it goes right to your court costs first.
Okay.
Yeah.
They let you choose online.
Well, no. So it's priority. So supervision fees are paid last. So if you're making a payment to the DOC, they go in and see what's priority. Like if you owe restitution, that would be top priority.
Okay.
And then supervision fees are lowest priority.
Okay.
So whatever you make, it's going to pay off your court costs first. This needs to be changed going back. Yeah. So this is gonna. I wouldn't. Let me make some adjustments.
Okay.
I wouldn't worry about this right now, especially if whatever you pay is going to go toward your court costs. I have to go in and make some adjustments, obviously, because you should not be charged since you got laid off from your last position. And I wouldn't consider unemployment.
Okay.
You know. So.
All right.
So I will go in and make some adjustments. Yeah, so it goes all the way. It looks like adjustments were made kind of throughout the years. So.
What else was I gonna say? So $60 is the. I'm sorry, $60 is the most, right?
60 is the. Let me double check. I think we talked because you would. Yeah, he was 20, 30, 60. Let me look at the income cutoffs.
Okay.
Because they did change it not too long ago. So let me see. Yes, 20, 40, and 60.
Okay.
So if you make 1,500 a month or above, it's 60.
Okay.
Is that accurate? If it's not accurate, I can change it.
Okay. All right. I'll double check. I'll bring.
And it doesn't have. It can be an estimate. It does not have to be down to a science. So I mean, if you look at like one of your last pay stubs and say, okay, like that's on average,
right,
and we have to adjust it, that's not a problem.
Okay. Because I haven't made 1,500. I think there's a few months this year where I didn't have a job, or
yes,
it was less than 15.
Yeah, and I think I'm. Let me take a look again. I'm pretty sure I adjusted that.
Okay.
When you were not working. Let me see. It wasn't reflected. I submitted it.
Okay.
But there's like 2 different departments that were. I'll make sure that I resubmit it. Okay. So
Okay.
let me put that on my list.
Okay.
But I did print the court costs.
Okay.
Do you want to print out of this? I mean, it's going to change
Okay.
likely. So I mean, for the supervision piece,
I'll take it and then leave it somewhere, and so because I think I'll forget. Or
that's okay. This is what it says now, but it will change because
Okay.
you're right. This needs to reflect the periods where you were unemployed, and I submitted the last time you were unemployed, but not this last time.
Okay.
So that needs to be reflected because this would have at least been early November.
Yeah. No, it wasn't middle. It might have
Middle of
no. I think November is gonna be. I think I made $1,500 in November.
because when I met with you on the 21st, you said the season had already ended.
Oh.
Yeah.
What time? So yeah, I think okay. We'll see. I'll check, but I think November is. You're right. You were right, and it'll just be December.
Soup fees. Okay, so I'm gonna make sure that I'll print this out for your records, and then make sure that I got the court cost one printed out,
Okay.
and then I'll work on that. I'm going to be out the next 2 weeks.
Okay.
If anything comes up that, you need a travel permit or something pops up, just call the front desk and they'll put you through to a cover.
Okay.
Otherwise, you can schedule for mid-January.
Okay.
And then I got, if you want to do another Friday, I have availability, or we can do...
That sounds good.
Okay. You want to do another 11?
Sure.
And would you like an appointment slip?
No, I'll remember.
No?
Oh.
Appointment slip?
No. What's the date one more time?
Yeah, I'm sorry, Friday, January 17th at 11.
Friday, January 17th at 11. Got it.
Yeah. All right, let's go get those printouts. So we'll take
All right.
them right back.
All right.
So here's the court costs,
Cool.
and then here's the soup fees that. Yeah, I definitely did 2 of each.
All right.
That'll be adjusted.
Got it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Going this way?
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Sweet.
See you next month.
Yep. 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 Well, another story told. Another time telling. Once more. That'll do it. They just told me you must feel real. They just flashed some kid's image in my freaking head that I went to high school with. And, like, you think you're better than that kid? That's what they just said. They flashed an image of this kid in my eye and then told me you think you're better than him. Or, I can't remember. No. Who was it? They just said you should say who it was. And then they said you look like a liar. And I'm trying to remember. And then they just said, we all know you're telling the truth. That's what they're saying. And they're stopping me from telling you exactly in the moment what they're saying. So, I don't know. I guess there's a part of your brain that speaks, that you use to decide to speak. Like when you decide to speak, there's an area of your brain that makes that decision. And I think while they were talking to me, they stopped me from speaking. Stopped me from choosing to speak as they were talking to me. So from right here to over there is when they were stopping me from talking. But anyways, they just said you should say you don't think you're better than anybody. That's what they just said to me. While I'm holding this phone and you're not hearing anything, I'm hearing these people speak. And they just said no one believes you. No one, I think, or everyone believes you're lying. Well, you're lying. No one believes you're telling the truth. There's something like that. They speak really fast and they flash an image so that you get the rest of the picture of what they're saying to you. I'm telling.